Welcome to the social circle where creators come together to turn ideas into impact and goals into a reality. I am Candace, and this is
Jennifer, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So glad you guys are joining us from wherever you are. Candace, you were gone for too long. You
I
took a
know.
break.
I want to go back. I
I,
just posted a story on my Instagram. Like, I don't think I'm fully back from vacation yet. We had so much fun. We had an absolute blast.
and you went on a cruise line, right, with Norwegian?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Norwegian Cruise Line. Second time we've been on a Norwegian cruise. Love it.
Where does
And
it
we
go?
this time we went to Mexico. Last time we went to the Bahamas,
Okay.
which was a really cool experience. But the best part about this cruise is it's from Six Men Live, I think is their handle. And they find different stars that have like a niche audience. And like that's who this was. Chelsea Lynn. I don't know if a lot of you know her. Trailer Trash Tammy is her stage name. She's got
Okay.
a couple podcasts. She's been, I mean, since the Vine days, she's been
Oh, wow.
like
Long
creating
time.
content. Yeah, long time. So, and it's just a very niched cruise. And I don't think you could ever look at a cruise the same again when you go on something like that because everybody is just so
Pumped to be there.
like-minded, so different, but so like-minded, right? You all like the same artist. So you
Right.
laugh at the silly things and all that. So, but great experience and has really probably messed up my expectation of cruises. But it was so fun. So fun. We had a blast.
Well, that's awesome. I've been loving the content I've been seeing lately. So you guys really are showing through on the fun factor.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we
You
had a
nailed it.
blast. Thank you. Um,
Well, glad you're back home because we have a really amazing discussion today because I know this is something I think we're all going to rehash forever and ever and ever
yes.
because we still see a lot of it happening and there's a lot of us out here that don't understand or know what's going on and why.
Why, when you copy viral content, it doesn't help you? Why, when you copy viral content, you're not growing your account, you're not getting the views and the engagement that you want? And honestly, everybody always tells you to study viral content. But what creators here, and I'm guilty of it as well, and I believe you are too, Jennifer, is copy. Copy viral content. Don't
Verbatim.
study it, just copy it.
Yeah.
If you scroll through TikTok or Instagram right now and you like a post, sometimes you'll see that same thing with a different creator pop up every time. And sometimes it's the exact same. So, what we're going to talk about today is how you can take that viral piece of content and study it correctly so that it fits you. And that will help you grow your account because copying somebody else just it's not going to grow your account because you're not being you. You're not
There's
being you.
factors. Yeah, there are factors that made it go viral for that creator who made it go viral that you don't
Exactly.
know about. And that's why you need to do that work. And I'm guilty of this. Candace, I know, is guilty. A lot of us are when we're in this creator game. One, because we don't know how we want to show up in our own content, first and
Yeah,
foremost. A lot of us
that's so
don't.
true.
And I think that's something that, it's hard to kind of grapple in our minds. One, we're either super excited about whatever we're here for, creating our content about, that we have too much, data that we want
Yeah.
to share in our content. We just don't know how to get it out. But I think another part of it is, well, it worked for them, it should work for me mentality.
Right.
And that's not always the case. There are rare unicorns where it does happen. I'm not going to say it never does because it has, and I've seen that, I've witnessed it. It's just we want you to take these tips and treat them as something you can repeat on all the time. Just wash,
Yeah.
rinse, repeat these tips that we're going to give you today.
Yeah.
I think
And
something, yeah,
it's really about studying it. And
always.
I mean, we've been doing this 4 years now ish.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like just in the last year, or maybe year and a half ish, we've been more studying the content instead of just copying it. We've been looking at, okay, why did this happen? And why did this happen? And that's kind of what we're going to get into today and talk to you about. So,
I think that's where you need to remember it's the strategy that you're studying, not the script, not what you're
Right.
seeing, because you need to take the strategy and format it into your version of events for your content. We all have similar thoughts. Some of us are outlandish, some of us are just, kind of sheepish, whatever you have. I think a lot of it is relatable to you, though. You can take a
Right.
strategy that someone goofy and silly can do, and you can do it for something solemn, quiet, low key. It's
Yep.
possible. The thing that you need to know is the format and the strategy of what they're doing, not exactly what they have done. And saying, well, I can't go copy so and so because they're not doing what I would be comfortable doing. Great. Study
Right.
how they did it. Study the
Exactly.
counterparts of it. Study the pieces that you can break down. Did you notice how long the video was, the kind of music that it evoked, the emotion that you felt from watching that kind of interesting piece of information? I think that's where, we need to remember viral content works because it becomes relatable to your viewer. It becomes an emotional connection. And we talk about this on previous podcasts. It becomes about timing, and that's not to say you got to post 50 times a day. You do not need to do that. We're not going to go into that. You also need to remember that there has to be some structure in the story that you're telling. So
Hmm.
you do have to plan some of these out. I think we have a current mentorship that we're a part of right now. And when I heard about the immense level of structuring some of these pieces of
Yeah.
content I see on YouTube I'm like, oh my God, my mind was blown. I'm like, that is some detail. And I
Yeah.
think that's where, when we're looking at just copying the surface level because we think that that's what's going to go well for us, instead, it
It falls
won't
flat.
it falls flat and you're getting angry. You're thinking, okay, now I need to have a whole new idea. Now I need to come up with all of this new stuff. You need to analyze where it dropped off, number one. And again, it could have been there in their viral version that you missed it by a timing of a second from the
Yeah.
audio beat drop and the words coming on screen. Something very small. And it sounds so superficial, but these are those little tweaks that you need to take into consideration when you're trying to recreate something that worked very well for another creator and it's just not doing it well for you. You need to consider all of these extra things.
I was going to say, we often copy that surface level stuff, like having the same sound, the same relatability factor, the joke, the hook, right? The hook is something, hooks get copied all the time. And that's what I've been trying to do a lot this year is take a piece of content that I know worked well, that I had saved or whatever, and remake it in our own way so that we show who we are. For example, I just did a bunch of testing on one. There was a guy that had multiple videos go viral, laughing, and it said, like, somebody says, money won't make you happy, and then it's like me with money, and he's like going to all these fancy places and holding the fancy purse and in the fancy car, and he's just laughing, right? And it was a great video. So then I took that and recreated it for our vacation. Like, we did different spots where we were like laughing on the ship, and I tried different hooks for that, different text, and it's not going as well as I would have hoped, but it's getting views. It's not a viral piece of content, but it's viral for him. So that's where I would go in and study. Okay, well, he had all these expensive things and all these, it was just a different feeling
Hmm.
than ours. Like when people say a cruise won't make you happy. I tried a vacation. I tried a couple of different ones. And so it's the same thing. You're just taking that content. We didn't copy it exactly. We did it in our own way and changed the hooks, multiple hooks, because I tested them. And his was just better. And now it's up to me to go in and see, okay, or I'll go back and review, okay, it was the same sound, it was the same kind of clips, but different. It was the same kind of idea, but his was more broad. His was more broad. They say, and it's a saying that you hear all the time, right? Money doesn't buy happiness. It hits more people. It widens that umbrella. Whereas mine talked about a cruise. It talks about a vacation. So it kind of closes that
Yeah.
funnel a little bit, right? Closes your umbrella. It goes more to middle of funnel than the wide audience of money. So, okay, boom. That's why maybe one reason it didn't work. And you can recreate it in different ways because you know that information. You need to understand why
Yeah.
a viral video worked so that you can recreate it in your own way and figure out testing
Yep.
and figure out how to make it work for you. And another one that's the difference between inspiration, getting inspiration from a video, and imitation. You
Yeah.
can get inspiration from videos, from reels, from TikToks, from whatever all day long.
Yep.
But if you try to imitate it exactly the way they did it, it's likely not going to work out as well for you. If you
Yep.
can figure out how they did it and do it better, that's a hit. You may go more viral than that last person. Honestly, I've seen that happen.
And you're never going to know it until you test that idea out. And don't be afraid, right? That's a lot of our fear is that it's the unknown. I don't know how it's going to do, but
Right.
you have to overcome that step because that's where the real learning curve starts to come in play for you and your audience, the people you're trying to
Yeah.
reach, the content that you're trying to narrow down and make it sustainably a possibility for you to create it all the time.
And that's trial reels, man. That's why
If you
trial
have
reels are
trial
so freaking
reels,
awesome.
yes, use the heck out of trial reels while it is around. It is
Trials
the
are a
best use.
godsend from
Yes.
Instagram for especially it widens your aperture on understanding testing,
Yeah.
if
Yep.
that makes sense. Like it just opens your mind to, oh, I can test all of these things.
And
And just as a side note, what I
yeah.
have learned recently, and I don't know where I learned it, I may have learned it in our mentorship group, but TikToks. TikTok doesn't care if you post the same 15 videos back to back to back to back to back to back to back using different hooks, if you wanted to test that way. TikTok does not care. You can do that all day long. YouTube shorts, same way. Same exact way because all of my trial reels go to YouTube shorts, so I have actually two ways to test there. And I have only ever had one person in my comments like, "Why is this on repeat? Why do I keep seeing the same thing?"
Mm,
Because not everybody's going to see that because your videos are reaching a new audience. And that's
yes.
also something that we tend to forget a lot.
All the time. I feel like that's just a major back of mind thought. And, we assume that our content is going to be seen by the same person all the time, and that's just not going to happen. The way that these algorithms are working, the way that social media changes, the way that people just react different to stuff. And that's why timing kind of is mentioned earlier,
Yeah,
because it does kind of matter. The thing with that is you're not going to know the timing yet until
right.
you put in those reps, until you do that work. I've struggled with this. I've struggled hardcore trying to figure
Yeah.
out my own timing and when it's going to hit right. Candace, I remember 2 years ago in June or July, your account took off from one of your videos that you posted. You were trying an idea, and it was just it all escalated into the right moment for your account, went viral for you. You gained a bunch of followers. Huge, which is what we're all hoping for. And
Yeah.
I think, you know, when you're trying to do something and always go viral, it's usually because you're seeing it as a trend. And
Yeah.
trends tend to, you're probably gonna hate it, it's going to stall mostly smaller accounts. If you're trying to do what they're doing because it worked for them, they might also be a larger account. You may be trying something and it's not showing your identity. It's
Mhm.
not allowing you to have any new creativity come out. And I think for Instagram, I know Missouri is Adam Missouri, the CEO, is always talking about creativity and connection. Like that's the main reason for Instagram is to help others discover creativities in themselves. The best way I would say is you can use trends for helping yourself discover new ideas, new concepts, new video formats. Like if something is going very well and the trend is just absolute, like what was the trend? I can't remember. It was Viche song and it was Fresh Prince and the little sister and they were dancing the
Oh yeah.
dance from the TV show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, right? That was a huge trend. Everyone did it. Those two actors actually came back and recreated it, and everybody was doing it. The ice bucket challenge for ALS and
Yeah.
donations and all that stuff. Those are things that a lot of people they tend to morph over
Yeah.
time because it started with a functionable idea and someone's like, oh, that's so easy, I could do it for this idea, and that's how the trend helped with that discovery of that next great piece of viral content. And it just continued from there. And that's the kind of effect that you want to start to learn when you're looking at these trends. If your whole content strategy is trends only, they're following the trend, not what you're
Yeah.
doing. They're only
Exactly.
looking at that trend. They don't care for you in the activity of the trend physically. Your content starts to look like everybody else's. So they're not going to stick
Mhm.
around. They're not going to hit follow. They're not going to engage with what you're doing or what your purpose is. When the trend is dead, by the way, that's when you're going to lose all of the bonuses from that trending, whatever it is, the video, audio, whatever.
Absolutely.
I think,
And that happened to me. That happened
yeah,
to me.
it does.
Right? You're always
Yeah,
trying to create viral content and then all of a sudden you're like, "Oh, well now what do I do?"
right.
And exactly. So then you I had to go into this whole testing phase and starting to talk on camera. That's another hill, right?
It's a
That you got
hard
to
one.
get over if you're just doing all of these trends with other people's sounds.
Yep.
You can
It's
go
a hard
viral
one.
once from a trend and then
Yeah,
struggle to
I think that
repeat it.
I think that's what a lot of people, I think in 2024, were, getting sick and tired of seeing the same content over and over and over again. And I
Hmm.
think that's what morphed a lot of our content into what it is today, where we're after more of that relatable, connective experience rather than, oh my God, this is so funny. I'm going to do it and see what happens. And,
Yeah.
when you're struggling with what you're trying to, you know what? You just need to really test a bunch. I can't stress that enough. You
I mean,
really
that is
do.
so true. It's so true. And that's why I mentioned being able to test, if you've got trial reels, test it. And if you don't have trial reels, do the video one day and then 3 days later do it again with a different hook and then 3 days later do it again with a different hook, right? There are going to be it's testing.
Yeah.
You have to test, especially in 2026 as a creator, because everybody's a creator now, or everybody wants to be a creator. And it's
Yeah.
those people that are standing out that are going to stick around in the long term. And here's the bottom line, guys, from this section is trends can introduce you to people, but
Yeah.
it doesn't give them a reason to stick around. If you have a great trending video, 9 times out of 10, if I see a funny video that I relate to or that I emotionally become invested in, I go to their account. And if their account doesn't have all of the things that I found in this video that I liked, I'm not going to follow them. I'm
Hmm.
not going to follow them. I'm not going to waste my follow. And I know
Yeah.
that might sound silly to people, but when you don't you're going to see these videos pop up on your account. So you want to follow people that you relate to, that you become emotionally invested in, that you enjoy watching. And if it's a one off, it doesn't give anybody a reason to hit follow and stick around.
And you keep in mind, if your bio is on point when someone does find you and they go check out your profile and they read your bio, that may also help them to consider. So you do need to remember that piece too, is your best content that is the most viral, that gets seen in that trending moment, is a very really big billboard sign to you and what your account stands for. And if it
Yeah.
is hitting all the points on what that person, don't expect everyone to hit follow just because it goes viral. We have to change that narrative, change that thought process. Just
Yeah.
because it's viral does not mean you get the most following from that.
Right.
I think what
Let's
we
take a
need to, Yeah.
Let's take them into a really simple framework in our circle hack,
Circle
Jennifer.
hack it. Yeah.
This is our circle hack where we just give you a bite-sized piece of information that hopefully you can take with you and use today after listening to the pod. So instead of asking yourself, how can I recreate this? Ask yourself, what made this video work? Right? Look for the emotion. Look for what emotion did you get from it, whether it's happy, sad, funny, whatever, melancholy, blah, 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 all of the things. How was it relatable to you? How did you feel when you read it? The ones that I love in my comments when people say, "Oh my gosh, this is me," or "Oh my gosh, my internal thoughts." Like those kind of things. I'm like, "Oh my God, yay, I did
We're
it."
living the same life right now.
Yeah, I love it. I love that because it's like you're relating to people that you don't even know. They're watching a 7 to 10 second video about you and they're like, oh my God, that's me. And it's like, oh, cool. I'm not alone. Number one. Number two, I just won. That's my viral video right there because I got one comment saying, this is so me. So, like, you've got to study those things, the emotions, the relatability. What else, Jennifer?
The structure of that story that you're trying to tell, is it way too long? Is it too much fluff? Do we not need
Mm,
to know that your grandma helped you discover how to knit? Not really.
guilty.
I mean,
Guilty.
it's it's a nice additive, but make a series out of it. Walk
Yeah.
us through that storyline reel by reel, 10 seconds by 10 seconds. We do not have attention spans that hold us there anymore, guys. We are not watching 2 hour long interstellar videos on Instagram, Facebook even. We have to remember that we need to structure what we're trying to share. And another piece to this whole puzzle here that we need to remember is you need to have that twist and or payoff in your content. That
Always
just
at the end, the last
always at
three
the end.
seconds.
That payoff should be the end result. It should not be the first thing that you're coming on and saying, "Hey guys, I bought a Lamborghini and I got divorced." That's okay, swipe. You're done. I
Right.
get
Yeah. Okay, this is the
it.
payoff. Exactly.
Don't say that
Exactly.
right from the jump. You need to leave that curiosity. What my husband did when I bought this Lamborghini. More of that rather than, well, oh my God, why did she buy it? What did her husband do? I am so dying to know. That's the kind of attention stuff that you got to remember when you're structuring your story, how you're going to, one, keep the people engaged. Oh, we're going to twist that story now when, oh my God, this is the big trend that's going on. Bring it down a little bit, guys. Don't go so far out of the wild to get your structure, to get your story and get the twist, right? That's a lot of clickbait too that we want to keep out of there. Um, if you're trying to do this content, make it, like I said earlier, make it sustainable to you in your life. You don't need to go out and do all of this guru expensive stuff. It's just not necessary. You and your environment. That's what we want to see. Just we need to have you rework and play with how you can work in the twist of keeping your attention and the payoff in the end. And you want to save that ending for the ending. Don't tell us right from the jump. You can apply that idea with your own life and the experiences that you have lived. And that's where our perspective is what we're really, that's what helps with that relatable connection to our audience. And, it depends on the kind of content that you're trying to create. But let's take these ideas today and go off and try those, trial out some of these ideas. And we want to see it. If you have any questions, always reach out because we're here to help. We want to see you do these things and we want to see you succeed.
Listen, guys, the goal here is not to recreate viral content. The goal is to look at content, understand why it worked, and then make it your own.
And that just comes through practice. It's hard.
Absolutely.
It's so that you do have to work. If you're into anything, repetition, I know that it's really, really tough, but you do need to work on that setup. You need to take it, study it, and try and recreate it. And this also hopefully will help with your analysis paralysis. If you're having too many ideas, if you're stuck with, I don't know what to post today, try something that you did once before in another
Mhm.
way. See if you can maybe adjust the length of the video, shorten the length of the video, add a different thumbnail cover, and then see what happens. I don't know. Different ideas. You got to try out a bunch of different ways, but you don't need new stuff all the time.
Right.
Just keep that in mind. You have a bank. You've already
Absolutely.
been creating content. If you've been listening to us for the last year, you've already gone and tried some of these ideas. So let's get back to our next edition of
How do
how to
you do that? How do
formats.
you do it?
Yes, how are we doing this stuff? I think always struggled with that because I never understood like how was that camera moved or how was the position of this lighting and all these things. Like I love these videos. They look amazing. I want to do that too. Um, Formats
It's,
repeat because they're working. It's
yeah.
because you figured it out. You've tried it. You've done it 100 times. That's what you need to do.
Yeah, and some examples, right? POV storytelling, like when somebody's
Yeah.
telling a story, follow along with that. Take the video, put it into CapCut, download the transcript, throw it in
Yeah.
Chatty G and say, "Hey,
Break this
why did
down
this
into a
work?
format. Yeah.
Walk me through this format." And I have done that with creators that I follow and that I love their storytelling techniques. And I will tell you, Jennifer, you know this, but they are pretty spot on in their outline of how they tell a story, how
Yes.
they break it down. So that's something for you to study. Confession style posts, right? Series or lists, like my things I refuse to do
Hmm.
at my age, and I'm still working through that. I think I'm on like episode 23 or 24, something like that, but I'm still
Yeah.
working through that to find, okay, what's the best hook, how is the best way to structure it, where's the best location. So I have found different ways, like when I'm doing things instead of just talking to the camera, those get more views. When that's the kind of thing that you have to study.
Yes.
Unexpected twists in the storyline. You know,
Yes.
how does that bring the engagement? Look at the comments, right? If there's an unexpected twist, look at the comments of the creator's post and see, okay, well, this is what people are saying, depending
Right.
on if they never finish the story and they're like, oh my God, I need more. What happened? What is this? Blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
So the structure stays the same, but the story is personal. It's more you. That's
Hmm.
the difference between copying somebody, like the whole thing, and
Their
being
stuff. Yeah.
original, is finding those things that worked in the video for
Yeah.
that person and then recreating it from your perspective in your own way, which isn't
Exactly.
easy to do, guys. I'm
It's
not going
very
to sit
hard.
here and blow smoke and tell you that it's easy. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
This is my full-time job and it is not easy.
It's really not. And I think it's a lot of it is just remembering your perspective and what you're trying to recreate from that viral whatever you
Mhm.
saw, from the format that you're trying to make for you. I think I have seen one mentor talk about, storytelling in I'm sorry, they don't talk about it. Their storytelling format in their
Yeah.
video is a slideshow of images, still pictures that are on a loop, and it's a probably 9 second long video, and for every second of the audio that they chose for a certain reason, that audio draws out an emotion of some kind, the pictures are linking with every beat, they're swiping
Mhm.
to the beat, the audio is changing, or not audio, the text is changing with the beat. And I think that's something that it took them, I think they said, I think 3 years to find that format and perfect that format. God, one of my favorite chefs, I know this is super random, Chef Gordon Ramsay and his beef Wellington. That man did
Mm.
not make that beef Wellington in the first attempt that he made it taste as delicious as it does today. I think it took him years to perfect that
Right, to
recipe.
perfect it. Exactly.
Yes, and now he is where he is because of that one dish, along with a bunch of other factors. But anyway,
Right.
remember that when you're studying the viral and taking that format and implementing your perspective, that will make the difference between what happens for them and what happens for you.
Yeah.
Strict copying, we do not condone it. We did it. We've learned our
Done it.
lesson. It does not grow your account, and that's what you're here for. I think what we really want you to do is remember that a trend can be a tool, but it does not need to be the strategy. If that's your goal, go for it. I'm sure there's other people that help you with that. We help you talk strategy here.
Right, but do it. So you want to do a trend, do it in different ways. I love the couples that will like do a trend together because they saw it. Like they're like, oh, this is the trend, and now we're gonna do it
Yes,
in our own way because they're showing
yes,
their personality. They're not just trying to do the trend to get you to think it's their trend that they're starting. Like they're like, oh, here's the dance or whatever, or the
yeah,
trend. And this is our perspective. This is our way of doing it. I love those couples because they're showing their personality. And that's, hey, that's what people want. People don't want, oh, when Jennifer and I started, it was all copy, 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 copy. Everybody had the same shit. Everybody. Even in the make money online space, which we were in, they all had the same hooks, the same ideas. It was like a copy and paste.
yeah,
That's why now people don't want that. They want personality. They want to be able to recognize you as the creator that they follow, right? What makes you different from Joanne or Barbara or whatever
yeah.
doing the thing. And it's your recognizable voice and perspective that will keep you growing long term and not just be the one or two hit wonder.
For sure. And we don't want you listening to us and just be the one hit wonder. We want you to have that sustainability because you're here for a purpose. That purpose is to grow your business and to grow your sales. And to start with that, you start with that content. I think creators don't grow because they copy what worked for someone else. They grow when people start recognizing the voice in the noise, which is you.
Absolutely.
And I think
Yeah.
you can do that by replaying this episode, guys. Hit subscribe. Check us out again for the next podcast episode. You're going to love it. It's going to be a great one. And I
Always
think
is, girl.
always is. And like I said before, if you do have questions or if you want us to check out something or if you have to have us review, please follow us on Instagram at the Social Circle VIP. Candace does have her own Instagram at Just the Blended Wells, and I am on at Jen_Radilak. We are here to help you guys get through these hard moments. We've done it. We're still
Yeah.
doing it.
We're still doing it. Yeah, we're here, man. We're
Again.
in the trenches with you. We're not
Yeah.
sitting on top of our high hill like we're millionaires and we know everything. No, dude, we're still learning. We learn doing this podcast together every week.
Yes.
So, and we learn from the comments that you leave. So please drop us a line in the comments, follow our YouTube, and help us make this podcast even more successful than it has already been for us. So,
I think the best part is that it isn't just us in inside of our community on the social circle. It is all of you with us.
yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
where I think where I love bouncing all these ideas off because we help others and other people are helping other people, which I love to see that too inside our community. So check it out. Come back, like I said, for the next episode. Replay this one. I want to see you guys go do it. Have a really awesome weekend, and I cannot wait to see what we are gonna share with everybody next week. I'm so excited. Let's
Yes.
go. Bring it.
Have a great
Have a
week,
good
everybody.